tablet. I need a new tablet. I really need tablets. Just irritating the living daylights out of me.
It's starting to give you a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I don't understand why it does that. It's like I'm resetting it. I forgot. If I leave the damn thing on for too long, it just goes. It's hard.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm just gonna. It's an old ass Samsung tablet. Gotta slap the damn thing. See if it plays. But even then, I'm overdue to get a new tablet. Don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
Still on the.
Yeah, I think maybe. Yes, since the art is probably starting to cut out, it might be. I think it might be a good time to just reset it a little bit, see if it might
Oh
change
no, I'm on
anything.
my phone. I'm on my phone. The issue there is that I need to get a better pair of head. Once I
Ah,
once I once I once I buy a new I mean my computer case just came in, so I'm gonna be buying more pieces for my computer.
mm-hmm.
Once my computer's done, this isn't gonna be. But I might end up buying a tablet in the meantime. And yeah, I'm still not getting an image on stream. This is annoying me now.
Yeah, that's odd. I think it might be the Twitch app itself.
Yeah, it has to be the Twitch app.
Yeah, because that shouldn't be even possible. Even with like a mobile phone, it should be
Yeah,
functional no matter what.
it's the
Maybe it might be the bitrate that I'm streaming at, since I'm streaming at like 6K.
not sure because I'm looking at other people's um I'm looking at other people's streams. Like I just dropped by bum. I just dropped by bum stream and bum stream is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm looking at all these other streams and they're coming in fine. So yours is the only one that's acting up for some reason.
But you can hear him fine? Alright. Now I don't have to accidentally blow people's ears out again. Will's playing Shape Memory Alloys. So we're just gonna be waiting on.
See, it's playing an ad, and the ad plays perfectly fine, but then it goes to when it comes back to your stream, it's dead.
Hmm.
I'm starting to think it's your.
That's an odd case. Really. Maybe I could just probably do the same thing on Discord, but I don't know how much that's gonna cause some troubles.
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, we're
Let me. I'll figure.
okay. Also, what's good, Joe? How's everybody else doing in the chat too? Since we're kind of waiting on AcidAce to make his appearance, we could probably just shoot the shit for a moment.
Hello?
Hey,
Hi. Hello.
how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Aeon Shift. What's up? Or Aeon Axis. I don't know why. I don't know why I get mixed up between both. I'm like Blue Shift, Aeon Axis.
Yeah, it's
No mix up.
yeah. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, so I'm getting a little mixed up. But sorry. I'm ready to go. So yeah, what's up?
Nothing much. Just getting things set up, making sure that audio is working properly, and yeah, I'm just getting ready to get this episode on the way.
Okay. So again, are we recording right now?
Yes, we're live.
All right. Perfect.
And if you want to stream, I could just yeah, I could probably just link it in the chat too.
A stream? No, I mean you guys are good, right? I mean,
yeah.
I just came here expecting to, share information, talk,
yeah,
make sure everyone knows what's up. But yeah, whenever you're ready, I mean, I'm ready to go.
Alrighty.
Hey, give me like 2 seconds.
Okay. So, let's just go with the introductions. You can just introduce yourself, Acid.
Hey, so I am AcidAce. I was originally a anime fighting game player for almost, damn, I feel old saying this, for almost like 12 years, 11 to 12 years, something around that. But I've always been a big fan of the Extreme Versus series, or EX Versus, the Versus series in general for Gundam. I date back all the way to the Seed games, and so at my arcades they had Gundam versus Gundam and Gundam versus Next Plus and stuff like that. So I've always been a big fan. So when I heard EX versus Extreme Versus was coming to console, right, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. And so I just kept on pushing from there. So kind of a experienced vet from previous series, but other than that, yeah, I don't have anything else other than I won Evo once, but always participating in the Evo sections. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. And what game did you play beforehand? Since you mentioned.
Pretty much all anime. Like it started from Guilty Gear to Blaze Blue to new Guilty Gear, Persona, pretty much everything. Again, that's why I generalized it as anime community, because pretty much whatever next anime game, it's kind of like, all right, I'll touch it and then see if I like it or not. So Unist and things like that. I'll play like a variety of sorts from there. But particularly, I hold on to Blaze Blue as the #1 game.
Who was your favorite character there?
Oh, it is Hazama.
Ah. And which iteration of Hazama did you like the most?
Let's see. It's hard. It's between either the it would be from either CS2 or original CP. So the reason why I put it between the two is because that's when I had my biggest highlights during that time. So that character was so broken during those times where I actually thought I had a shot at winning just because of how powerful he was back then. Because in CS2, they just upped his damage a crap ton because 6C it didn't have same hit paration, and it stuck you to the ground. So you could do like any confirm into 50% into hold tension, and then you get back the 50%. It'd be 5k to 7k to 8k. So it didn't even matter. All you had to do was get 50 meter and hit someone. And CP, again, that age was another reason for that age was, again, that character just was extremely powerful. The command grab was ridiculous, and he had the JC, the 4-hit JC loops, which corner carried all the way to the end of the screen. So I'm like, this character cannot be fair. Oh my god. And the only thing that cut me out was probably Kokonoi and Taukaka. I just couldn't deal with that matchup. I had no real anti-air against that character, so I was like, I guess I'm just going to be blocking for the rest of the game.
Yeah, CP Kokonoi was a nightmare to everybody, except for the people that used her.
Yep. So again, that was before, that was just kind of like during that time. But regardless, those would be my two most favorite or memorable ones. My favorite one would be current iteration Hazama, the latest one in CF. I think he is the most balanced and fair at this time, along with having like a very he covers a lot of ground now, instead of just kind of like, he's always been a one-touch character that zones you out, but now he just kind of like, he emphasizes good movement more and stylish play. And so I really like that about that in this version out of all the other ones, because before you just had to know all the combos. As long as you knew how the combos and you didn't drop combos, again, CS2 era, I was a top player then. You just don't drop those combos, that's 5k. You just hit him again, command throw him, you win. I was like, oh, cool.
Okay, just adjusting the audio levels so you guys are a bit more audible. So
I hear him fine.
yeah, it's
Might
just
be a
on the
stream thing.
stream. On the stream side, it might be a little bit quiet. So I just matched the audio to my decibels too. So if it's too loud,
Alright.
just let me know so I can just change it.
Alright. Okay. So yeah. Other than that, introductions or for that character, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Oh, they're a bit loud. Okay, I'll adjust it now. Probably bring it down to
Question.
16.
Are we providing any match videos for today?
Yes, he DM'd me 3 good match videos. So
Are those of him playing or somebody else?
Somebody else.
Somebody else.
I see.
So I'll just link it in the Hangar too. And what suits
Too
do you
loud now?
mostly? Wait, what?
Chat says too loud.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just adjust it a little bit further so it's. All right. How about now, chat?
Alright.
Okay. First one. And what suits do you usually play in EX Versus?
EX
Before you settle
versus
on
like
that
my favorite one.
Yeah.
Right now, again, I have a lot of suits, but right now, the number one I'm most interested in would be Full Grancer. It's an EX
For what now?
versus, so the H1 Full Grancer.
Mm-hmm.
He's from EX versus 2. I'm sorry. You said EX versus games, so I thought all the games count.
Okay. All right. Still too loud.
Sorry.
Let me adjust that. It's gonna be a long journey before we can actually find the perfect happy medium to the audio levels. Because I think I've been mixing around with my audio mixer, and I don't really have much of a feedback, so I might have to check the monitor just to be sure. All right. So. But I guess we could probably narrow it down to Maxiboost at this point, since it's a little bit more relevant. So,
Okay, sure. Yeah, no. In that game,
Mbong.
yeah, Mbon, I main Full Saber mostly. He's strong. He's I went to Japan many times for that character, and so it's just kind of like how much money I've invested in that character, even in the EX versus 2. So it's kind of like, ooh, we don't want to talk about that. But yeah, that character would be my number one. But again, I kind of swapped over to the peaceful vegan destroying old man. But yeah, it would be that. Though I made other characters in Tourney in that format back in the day, but if I were just to play sit down, it would definitely be Full Saber.
okay.
Tell me if I'm talking too much. Again, I just kind of trail off on all. I'm just going.
Bruh, you're
No,
fine.
you're good, man.
you're fine, Bray.
Like, the more you talk, the better it is, really. Trust me.
All right.
And
Alright,
speaking
so-
of which,
So today, we just to make sure I'm remembering right, we're talking about F91 today.
yes.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get started then. So we're gonna start with the usual icebreaker. Why do you like that suit? What do you like about it?
What? So I like that suit a lot during I liked it a lot. I actually didn't like that suit until I went to be my first trip to Japan in Embion. I didn't really have much like concern for it in Full Boost, as again he was just kind of like, what's the word, Jimmy. Again, it's just kind of like he's overshadowed by a lot of other suits. But after playing him there and then practicing over at Full Boost, again he wasn't as bad as I originally thought. And then just learning all its tricks and what makes the suit it really like resonates with me, because again, he's very fast, his BD distance is great, and again, he's a second impact suit where you hold CSA a lot, so you can do a lot of tricks with that, which is something that most of my suits, most of the suits that I main usually have that kind of trick. And again, his suit is just really fast, and yeah, it's very easy to pick up as well. I would recommend this character for beginners in general, as he doesn't rely on, it doesn't really rely on anything like too cheap outside of the meep, but that has to be used in a certain way. Outside of its base tools, there's nothing like people can really fall onto. You just have to shoot your way through. You have to aim properly, and again, it's got good mobility. So he'd always be that character that I'd recommend for new beginners.
All right, so I have a question now because of that. Now, usually when I think beginner friendly, I think this suit is easy to use and very derp. So do you feel that this suit is derp, or are you saying that this is a suit that's good for beginners because it'll help them focus on their fundamentals?
Correct, that one, the fundamentals. So when I say beginner suit, I definitely don't mean for the kind of like the derp section. If I have to go for derp, again, that character that I was telling you about in EX versus suit, that's a derp character. The suit will play itself, and you'll like get the 10 win streaks very easily. It's not that type of thing. I don't think that. I really don't like to weigh that as a beginner friendly suit, because it'll start you off in the wrong direction in this game, where you'll start to rely on this character more, and then it's going to affect all the other types of gameplay for all the other suits. So again, that's something I definitely would avoid.
So in other words, for you, it's a case of, for beginner friendly, yours is basically something that will encourage people to get better at the game, as opposed to by playing this suit, it's just going to basically be easy mode and you don't even have to think about it. Okay,
well, a funny thing about F91 is, again, my standards for being beginner friendly also implies to that, because again, F91, he has a lot of very simple tools to really understand. There's probably the number one trickiest thing for new players would be to hold to second impact, which would be to hold the CSA button and let go and press main, which that would require like a bit of practice to get used to. But when you look at it, again, he's a very simple suit. He's got a nice assist. He's got a sub. He's got a regular main. And then the suit is fast, and he has a get me out of trouble button, right? And that's something beginners will be needing a lot when, say, more experienced players, or when they're in danger, so that they kind of get an understanding of their sense of danger and trying to avoid it.
All right. I got you. All right, so since you mentioned that, what's his get out of jail button?
So his get out of jail button would be his trademark meep. The meep, which would be his BC. So that would be his melee and boost button weapon, his special melee button. So just like in the anime, it's the thing that makes F91 F91, the after images. So when you activate that, so a lot of veteran players will kind of understand this, but it's what we call the invisible suit, the invisible status, like with Wing Zero system. It basically makes the character, the stealth, it makes the character invisible and makes it so that you are basically green lock forever. So there's red lock and green lock in this game, where if you're in red lock, your moves will be tracking or be guided towards the opponent. And then if you're too far away, you're being green lock, where you're going to be hitting thin air. None of your bullets will be tracking after him or chasing him. So again, it'd be kind of a dead bullet, and he's going to be hitting thin air. So
I wanted to check something about that too while we're at it. So meep mode, if I'm not mistaken, it's spelled MEPE, right?
Yep.
So quick question. So meep, is it always active once you act? So for example, once you trigger meep, right? Is it always active? Like for example, Blitz's Mirage Colloid or Wing Zero's Zero system? Or I was told that it only works while you're boosting. Is that true?
No, it is actually active at all times. Again, it's just
Okay.
a standard meep, but it doesn't break like Death Sight's cloaking as well once he does an actions. It's like or blitzes. It's just like Wing TVs where it is constantly active until the timer runs out or you get hit by something.
Okay. And is it also like the other ones where if you get hit while you're in that mode, is it true you take extra damage?
Correct. You take a lot of damage. So the first hit that you've taken will be, I believe the modifier is 1.5, 1.7 around there. So depending on what hit you, it could be the damage could like double or be extremely like it could melt your suit instantly. And what's worse is that extra damage is considered what's the word? Is it I'm not too sure what the wording would be, like non-registered, but you know how if you take damage within this game, so you take damage and then you gain burst for that, depending on the suit value. So the extra damage that you take from that attack, it's not contributed to your burst, from what I've experienced.
So in other words, whenever you get hit, depending on how much or how hard you're getting hit, you get extra burst gauge. But if you get hit while you're in meep, the extra damage you take doesn't scale into you getting more burst.
Correct.
Ooh,
so if you make an accident with that, it'll be it's going to be a very like you'll be in trouble.
That's pretty punishing. I see. Someone just noted here on the chat.
Yeah.
You also lose meep mode if you block, as in guarding a melee.
Guarding a melee? Is that true?
I don't think that was the case in GVS, but then again, I really ran into situations where that happened. But
right, so that's actually a very funny thing to bring up because again, generally, the only times you would guard would be during the BC strings. We'll get to that a bit later, but I've never actually blocked with that character because again, the idea of meep is that you're kind of invisible, so you just kind of like roam free through the battlefield. They're just kind of like running from you.
Wait, we block in the X versus what?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
We block in the X versus what?
Oh, well, you're gonna have to. It's definitely a good thing to be blocking in EX versus. Maybe not so in Gundam versus, as in that game you could get guard broken solo very, very easily. So it's very dangerous in that game to be blocking. You have to be very sure that you are safe, or it was literally the last thing you could do. But so I'm actually not sure. But again, if it does, then that's also a big thing. So I wouldn't gloss it over as much, as you won't really be blocking within meep mode because of the benefits that it gives you, which pretty much makes you green lock. So all you really have to do is just boost dash left or right, and those boys are going to be hitting thin air. As long as you're in constant motion, you should not get hit, unless you have to avoid one of the danger moves. So moves that can actually counteract meep very well. A quick example would be Wing TV sub. So that move does not actually function like normal. It just aims where you are constantly. So it pretty much nullifies that.
You're talking about the machine, the Vulcans, the Vulcans, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So again, well, we could go over a few moves like that before later. But again, blocking, so blocking it possibly could break meep, but though I'm not too sure. Sorry. But that's about it.
All right, so conversely, since we just asked about a tool that you do like on it, is there a mechanic or tool on the F91 that you don't like?
That I don't like? What do I don't like about F91? Ooh, I guess I have to narrow it down. If I'd be fair, there's nothing much I don't like about that suit except having low life. But that's not really like a tool or a mechanic. That's just how the balancing is. Because again, this suit is very hard to hit, and it's just kind of like,
well, if I'm not mistaken, now that you mentioned that, the F91 is actually a pretty small suit compared to a lot of the other suits in this game, right? It's a pretty small one.
Yeah.
Yes. No. I'm actually told, like, lore-wise, that suit is probably the smallest suit in all of Gundam lore, and you can even see it you can actually see it in game, where they try and best make the size adjustments. If you look that suit up, that suit is extremely small, and then that's also pointed out as one of the small benefits, because again, if you don't know, in this game, hitboxes are actually are dependent on the Gundam size as well, very very minorly. They might shrink it a little bit, but there's only so much that they can kind of like fool, because there are a lot of complaints back then. If you don't know, Maxiboost had the biggest offenders back in that game. When Nightingale was released, for some reason that suit was supposed to be the size of a spaceship, and it was, but its hitbox was actually smaller than your normal suit. They shrunk it, and they only fixed it in the next game and in Gundam Versus. If you've ever fought Hot Scramble with Nightingale, you throw those the back sub on him, and you just get clipped randomly on the wing by one of the bullets, and it gets instantly down. Yeah, that's one of the big matchup differences, where size mattered a lot. So very, very, very dangerous stuff. But yeah, relating back to F91 again, it is a small suit, so at certain situations it could avoid. It can barely avoid certain attacks thanks to it.
All right. So then from there, I was gonna just confirm something when you mentioned about the thing that you didn't like about its low life. So question, if I'm not mistaken, F91 is a 2K suit. So does it have low health compared to other 2Ks? For example, like, okay, cool. Because I was just making a comparison. For example, the Alex, which is a 1.5, it has less health than the typical 1.5. Okay, just wanted to just check. So so it has that low life. Okay.
Yes. So again, that's part of the balance within this game regarding highly evasive suits. So again, as you kind of I'm sure you two already know, as being players of VX Versus as well, but you see we have like different classes of suits in this game. We have shooting, high mobility, very like quick suits, or other suits with gimmicks that either increases their durability or anything like that. And their HP, the HP adjustment isn't completely balanced, right? Like everyone doesn't have 600 HP. Let's look at Dragon. Dragon has 640 HP as a 2000 as a 2K suit. Wait, is it 640? Hold up, what was it? He has around 620, 640, I believe. And again, you compare that to one of the 3Ks, like Strike Freedom. He only has 600 HP. So as a 2K, his HP like outstrains everyone. Okay, so it's 620. It's 620. And so you compare it to, again, like F91. F91 only has, again, 520. So he's got a huge 100 difference. And the reason being is Dragon Gundam is a melee suit, right? So he's going to be in the heat of battle almost all the time, so they had to buff up its HP. But the reason F91 has such low health is most likely because of it's a high mobility, and it has meat, which makes it very hard to hit.
All right.
So yeah, so that's why it's on the little it's on the little down low section.
No, I think it's valid. So next thing I wanted to ask was F91 comes from its self-named anime. Did the anime influence you? Well, no, as you mentioned it. You mentioned that you kind of didn't really like the suit as much, and so you got to play it in Japan. But by any chance, did the actual anime that it's from influence you any at all?
No, actually, F91 never really hit it off with me as much. It had some Tomino magic, but again, the world itself was really foreign to me, and it was very short. The actual movie was really nice to watch, but then it's just kind of like I couldn't relate to anywhere there, because it's in the far end of the UC universe, right? Like kind of like near the ending. So again, I really couldn't kick off with it. I actually have a better. I like the sequel to it a lot more, the Crossbones, because it has a lot more action, I would say. And him turning it.
You mean the series that we're never gonna get an anime of?
Yeah, unfortunately, due to various reasons. But yeah, it seems to be down the drain, unfortunately. But yeah, like again, when he turned into a pirate, dude. He turned into a badass pirate. He got an eye patch in the end, dude. Like if you ever have those before, then, and after, that's like one of the best character developments ever. You turn from this like whiny like nice boy, and then you turn into a pirate captain, and then you turn into a badass, and it's like, wow, that's pretty nice.
And then he loses his sight after taking, I forgot, I think it was like Steel 7 that he was completely different after a while.
I actually haven't read that far because again, I only like skimmed through Crossbones. Other than the highlights of those things, again, it was again his rivalry with Sabine there was probably the best. But going back on topic, so I was thinking while I'm talking, I would say the number one thing I don't like about that suit would be its sub. Actually, now it's for a very specific reason. And it's a problem that's been haunting that suit for a long time, and I'm sure we're gonna go there once we get to the suit showcase, going over its weapons. But yeah, its normal version sub would be my number one biggest complaint about that suit.
Question: what is the sub?
The sub? So it is its twin. Is it photon cannons, mega cannons?
Oh, okay. That's the twin beam thing. Okay.
Right. So it's normal mode sub. It's probably my least favorite move because it's very slow. It cuts momentum, and there's two variations. Only one right now in Maxion, which will be coming out, and EX versus Suit they added a second one. And those subs are really strong, but the neutral sub, the original sub that I'm talking about right now, I really don't like that move, as its biggest weakness, which I'll go over, is the startup is very slow. It's very hard to confirm sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. Again,
I've always found I've always found EX versus to be pretty forgiving, I guess is the term I'm looking for. Like when you land a confirm with a beam rifle to go ahead and land a combo move. But you mentioned it's because the sub has a long startup?
Yes, again, it's the startup. Again, for in certain situations, again, there are easy punishes and then there's hard punishes. So those times when you're hitting during neutral, where you don't know where these guys are gonna land, people are taking like very modest landings and things such as that, and especially at the far range, mid to far range area, sub is pretty unforgiving when it comes to confirming off of that. It's a move. If you were to confirm off with that character, it would be something you have been shooting ahead of time. And that can create a gap in your play because you're using boost a lot. So generally, with, I would say, higher, stronger level players, you can't really commit that much that kind of boost, especially if you start taking double lock or, they're packing some real heat right there. And so, say a stray bullet hits, it's like I'm doing a boost up and a stray bullet hits. I'm like, oh, I want to press sub and cancel it, right? Because of that startup, I will not be able to confirm off that stray shot. I was hesitated for 1 second at that mid range. At close range, it's not that bad, right? Because it's an easy confirm. But again, at the far range, it's a huge damage loss, and again, it's just not very good to be using. Like, it's actually, the sub was actually sped up from full boost onto currently Maxion, so it's a lot more forgiving right now. It has more cancel routes as well, but it's still considered one of the slower subs in this game, with one of the biggest startups. And again, I would even call it as an infamous trademark of that suit. And so yeah, but that would be my number one thing I don't like about that suit. It got better, but
it's okay. So I think I'm starting to see now why you want this suit to be. Do me a favor. Can you replay the same video, please, Blue?
Sure.
Because I find this interesting while we're talking about this in general. Besides just having to just be strict about going over a video, but okay. So let me ask you then. So it sounds like to me like now I think I'm starting to see why you like this suit for beginners, because just like you mentioned, the sub. You can land it if you're more or less at close range, comboing from a beam rifle. But if you're too far, it sounds like you're probably not going to combo it. So it sounds
Right.
like I can see that this is good because since obviously F91 is primarily a back suit, this is going to encourage the player to not be too far as the back, because if you're too far, then you're not going to be able to get full punishes.
Correct.
So that'll be good to teach the player to stay in formation more, because if you're not, then you're going to have that damage loss, just like you mentioned. Now,
Right.
let me see. Okay, so the beam rifle is always reloading. Looks like the sub is only one ammo, and then it has to reload. So CSA is just a normal, typical charge shot, right?
It is a 3-string shot.
Okay,
It's a
thank you.
triple 3-string shot.
Alright.
In the video that you're streaming on right now, it's a little bit. He's not using as much, but you'll see it more in the other videos. But it is I would say his CSA is his neutral. It's the move that you use mostly at neutral. So the reason being, it's first of all, the CSA is extremely powerful. Again, it's a very fast triple BR string. It costs no ammo, and it's faster. It's faster than your average BR. So it can take landings way easier. It can hit people in really weird places as well. And of course, my favorite technique, second impacting, which you're doing main. You press the A button, then you let go, and then you immediately press A to keep your charge going. And then you can let that go. You can cover many, many different landings as well. And the triple shot that you shoot out, again, it covers every single. It covers very different landings and in a wide variety.
All right. Now, CSB is that the charge shot type thing?
CSB is also another charge move. So I was actually gonna go over this as maybe my most least favorite move, but it's actually a lot more useful in this game after it got a lot of buffs. Probably in full boost, this is my most disliked move. But what CSB is, it is a shield toss. He throws his shield out, and so it acts like a little landmine. So you can see it's kind of floating around on the battlefield. So first of all, you can use it as sort of an anti-melee. I don't recommend it exactly for this purpose, as you're going to have to be holding the CSB, and it's very difficult to kind of force people to be right in front of you in that angle. But what it's primarily used for, it's the most unique property of this character, is it attracts assists.
Oh, so it's okay. So that's cool.
Yes,
so I was gonna ask if that was what the other thing that it does, because as you mentioned, it's a landmine, but not really handy to use.
Right. It's like because again, it's very easy to play around. You have other characters with good minefields like Norn or maybe Gan or Chimaris Vidar or Chimaris, and so you can use those mines like that. But this one is very small, it doesn't travel up, and it doesn't cover much range. But what it's used for is it attracts assists. So right here in this video, you have X3. So if he throws out his CSB, and where he's aiming at from where he is in that direction, if that general vicinity, if he presses an assist, the assist will not go after F91. It actually will chase right after the CSB.
Quick question, because I want to make sure, because I don't remember that. My memory's a bit fuzzy here. So let's say, for example, you're using F91, and then Blue Shift is on, I don't know, Wing Zero, and I'm fighting him, right? I'm locking onto him. If I call an assist on him, but you have your CSB out, will my assist be distracted by your shield toss?
Yes. So it's gonna be it has an AOE range on what it attracts. So if you're in that general vicinity where the assist is gonna go to, it's going to track onto it like kind of like a sonar. Like it's just attracting assists in that sense. That's why sometimes if the CSB is really far, like halfway across the screen, and you guys on the other screen, it's not gonna attract the assist going that way because you're already out of range.
Okay. And then so that's move 1, move 2, 3, and 4, and then after that, the other move below the sub, that's the assist call, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's his AC, his special move, which is his I forgot what the name of that. the Vigina. I'm sorry, could you repeat that name?
Vignagina or Sicily.
Vignagina. I just call it the Cecily's assist because
it's easy to remember her name.
Yeah, the girlfriend assist. So again, yeah. So this weapon was introduced in full boost, and it's had little buffs, little changes throughout its lifetime in this game. And so in this game, it's probably the best it's been right now. Ever since. So the changes from full boost to maxi on is they added a rush assist variation to that assist. And so the reason being for that is originally the assist only used to be a triple BR shoot. So it used to be very powerful, but because with the nerfed guidance to BRs in this game in general, the suit's assist its potential kind of dropped off. And it already kind of had issues before regarding confirms and stuff like that, because in full boost, if you played this suit, it does not have a main cancel route. So you can't do main into AC. You have to use this assist raw.
So this assist is raw only. I see.
Yes,
right,
but right now, it has a main cancel route right now, and so it's again it covered an angle. The rush assist covered an angle where the BR assist really didn't now. So let me go a little bit deeper. What that is, when you want to use, so normally when F91 only had the triple BR assist, the triple BR assist was very strong in the far range, taking confirms at far range, but at close range it didn't work. It just didn't work at all. So it couldn't be used as a very good like type of self-defense or people moving very up close. It didn't have like a lot of vertical tracking in that sense. And so you couldn't really count on it to hit or even confirm at that range. So it was weak in that sense. So giving it the rush assist makes its mid-range and close range potential really, really good right now. So which was something that it had trouble with before. And now it doesn't have trouble anymore. Again, you can throw that assist with main assist, and it's more reliable than your the shooting assist. You can see kind of like in the video, he's mostly using the rush assist to cover more to cover the enemy's movement more.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing I'm looking at that I think looks like a very big positive for this suit is the main has a lot of ammo with a total count of 7. It's always reloading. And then just like you mentioned, you also have CSA, which is a volley of 3 shots. Or you said that the volley shots are faster than the sub shot. Now, going by what you're telling me, it looks like this suit you really shouldn't be having any issues running out of ammo then, huh?
Well, so that's only if so it really doesn't have much trouble running out of ammo as long as you're rotating it with your main, with your sub, with your AC. Any suit in general can be strained on ammo depending on if whether you're properly rotating your ammo. This is why you see you see this player so you're seeing this player, it's kind of like use it or lose it, kind of like that. Okay. So it can have some problems if you have trouble using CSA, but if you're second impacting properly, then no, this suit never doesn't have any problems rotating its ammo with all your other ammo. Mm-hmm. So again, it never has really ammo problems as long as you are properly playing through it.
And would you say that that's another reason why you like this suit for beginners? Because if you use it properly, it'll reward you by not running out of ammo in a bad situation.
Right.
That sounds about right?
Right.
Okay.
So again, another big thing you need to learn for a lot of the other suits is proper ammo management. Almost every suit, not every suit can be unicorn with in reloading BRs and things such as that. So properly conserving your ammo in the right situation is very important. You can see in the video right there is, again, he's right next to Wing TV. His BR only has 5 shots. It's very powerful, but if you start spamming that, your neutral, your presence is pretty much gone at that point. You can't take landings if you can't take landings like you should be able to take landings, and so it's just kind of like you're going to be in some big trouble.
All right, so then one more. So the next question concerning weapons, and I believe we'll round it out, is going back to Meep, your favorite tool. So looks like you can only activate it once it's at 100%, so it has to be full so you can activate it. If you
Correct.
do get hit, I know you get knocked out of it, but if I'm not mistaken, let's say for example there's 50 left on the ammo and you get hit, it stops at 50, right?
No. Oh, so if you get hit during meep, so there is a cooldown. There is a cooldown penalty for getting hit out of meep. So before the timer will start going up again, the timer will stop immediately until until it starts reloading again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then the other one I was going to ask about that. When you activate Meep, can you shut it off yourself, or it's
no,
or it's okay? So once you activate it, you're using it the whole way. Gotcha. Okay.
And what other
doesn't sound too
enhancements
bad.
does Meep allow? I know that it has access to a couple of.
Oh yeah, no, I want to go into that. So Meep actually enhances almost everything except that suits BR, CSA, CSB, and Assist. So in this mode, he unlocks almost 4 or 5 different new variation tools that are Meep exclusive. So one would be a sub variation. So remember I talked about the sub variations in this game. Mm-hmm. So if you're coming from Gundam Versus, you wouldn't know this, but that the side sub and the back sub that it used to have, or actually not even back sub as that's Gundam Versus, but it's side sub where he shoots 2 shots. He shoots the twin cannons. 1 and 2 instead. That's actually a Meep exclusive edition. So you're gonna see right there. You saw that one, that one shot that stuns. So this move is a Meep exclusive move. It's very powerful, and it only works. It only works while you're in Meep. So that option's only available during this move. And so,
question.
Yep.
I want to make sure I saw this properly. Because I noticed that he did the side Meep and then he did the normal one. So you gain 2 ammo on Meep to sub while you're in Meep mode?
Yep.
Correct. So it increases the ammo size to 2.
So that makes that much more powerful.
Right. And so also another thing, this is something that a lot of people might not know, but in Meep, your sub's damage is almost doubled in that game. So
wait, say that again?
So it's regular sub where he shoots the twin cannons together at the same time. You'll probably see him, right there. That version inside Meep, the damage actually increases by a lot. It's quite insane. So the twin cannons, hitting it raw will do almost 160 raw during this time. And so normally it only does around 110, 120 raw. And that's still pretty high. But again, during this time, it does a crap ton. So right there, he's almost got like 50 HP, something like that. And it is one of the biggest confirms. And that's another thing I wanted to go about the sub is sub, or I'll go into it later, but sub is usually what we call the damage ender. So F91's damage output isn't actually that high normally, but its sub can help increase. It can kind of help increase the amount of damage that you do with it. So you can kind of see him pressing his side melee a lot, and then he always defaults into the sub, right? Because for one reason, it's an instant down. It downs your opponent instantly, right? Mm-hmm, so you don't have to. You don't have to spend much boost to like trying to confirm or properly down him, and also. It also does the most damage to your opponent as well. So it cuts your combo very early while also while also like conserving your ammo and doing the most damage that you can. So you see him doing side melee sub, or side melee sub, and then it just all rounds up to like 210, 220, and almost as much as your regular melee combos do. So again, we just usually call that the damage ender. And again, in Meep mode, the damage just increases even more, right? So you always want to try and abuse that damage buff that it has.
Mm-hmm.
So question, it's specifically the sub that gets powered up when Meep as far as damage-wise?
Damage-wise, yes. And then what else? Oh, and he also has access to its BC. So while in Meep, Meep is normally just activation of it, but if you press BC again, it becomes its most I would say its most infamous move. Even in Gundam Versus and
That's a
when this suit-
that's a double pizza cutter.
yeah, the double
No,
pizza
the,
cutter.
the
You just
sword
goes,
cutter.
"Wah!" That move. That move was a little funny history note about that move. But during Maxiboost's age, this suit used to be one of the top tiers in that suit. After the meta kind of like after like one little buff, it was like this suit was very infamous. It was its most strongest time during it, and it was the Gorilla Brain suit. So in that game, in that game, the damage was they removed the 300 damage minimum in that game, and you can reach up to 400 damage like naturally in that game. So when you had F Burst and Meep during that time, F91 could hit you for 400 after doing maybe that move 3 times in a row. And so he just go on do it to the other opponent, right? And then it'd be like an 800 damage spread. And so, and he'd be able to do this twice in a game with how the drives worked in that game. Yeah. So people really hated this suit because again, you're invisible. There's very little counterplay to it, and he just kind of goes, whoa!
The risk reward didn't add up.
Right, so it was just crazy. And so they actually specifically nerfed that in this game. So its BC isn't as strong as it used to be in the previous games. It's still very good, and it's still a very important part of its gameplay. But right now, I would say it's fair. It's fair. It's still really strong, but before it was just some crazy stuff. Again,
so question. That move, I'm assuming you can combo into it from your normal melees, right?
From your normal melees, you can't directly cancel it into it, but you can mash, or you can do it off main. And during the travel distance, it has a projectile guard during it, so you can't even shoot back at him sometimes.
Well, Aqua just mentioned it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Aqua just mentioned that he tried to BC melee and the O blocked it. He lost his BC mode. Oh, so if the enemy blocks your melee, so if the enemy blocks your melee, you lose Meep mode.
Okay.
Yep, no, he's right there. Good eye.
He caught that. Good eye there, Aqua. Good eye. Thank you.
And it wasn't like that in Maxiboost. You just kept going. Just kidding. But anyway, yeah. Oh, actually, wait, no. Wait. Are you sure? Do you mind rewinding that at the lowest speed? Okay. I think he lost Meep because he got hit by the funnels.
Let's
check.
Maybe.
Are you sure?
25.
Thank you, playback speed.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he got hit there because it stopped because he got hit by the funnels. I believe it's his own allies' funnels, but I'm pretty sure. That'd be really strange. I don't remember. Let's see. The bull.
Nope, the steel bits were still there.
Oh, yep. Nope, you're right. So, you're right.
Boink. Alright.
And another thing. Since we're also on the line of Meep BC, does it still have the shooting guard properties that it has in GVS, or is that...
Yes, it does.
Question, shooting guard, as in it auto blocks shots? Well, the pizza cutter auto blocks shots, or that it ignores them?
It will. Wait, what do you mean? Could you differentiate that? Because there is a differentiation.
Shot guard, as in it'll just block the shots and you keep going, or ignoring it, as in like armor, as in you'll take the damage, but you just keep trucking. Oh,
it would be the first option. So he'll just run straight through it. Interesting. Just like goes ping, ping, ping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of. We always have to specify because there's a lot of weird projectile guard type moves in this game, and they all react differently. Some moves, some moves used to have projectile guards, but it would actually default into a guard rather than just ignoring the bullets and just keep on going. So certain suits would be like Gundam and the Gelgoog and Wu Fei 8B. Again, those moves have projectile auto guard as well, but it'll actually put them in block stun, so act like a regular guard.
I know Alex's sub does that as well. I believe it's sub. Yeah, when you use her sub, she does a beam rifle shot and she'll take out the shield. But if you end up blocking, and there's a window where it'll either block the shot, the enemy shot, or you'll block and still get your shot off if you time it properly. If you time it perfectly, you'll block and shoot, but otherwise you'll just keep blocking.
All right.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. So anyway, have we not gone over a weapon? We did the assist, sub, we
covered everything actually.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Oh,
unless we got melees, we gotta cover them. Other than BC, we haven't talked about melees. How good is
let me I just remembered this, but let me cover some extra areas that let me cover some of the changes that it got from and beyond. Because I kind of noticed this during one of the questions that where I was browsing through, but the changes from full boost to Gundam Versus, since this is a game right in the middle, and it is canonically, a lot of Japan say this is the most the hottest version of Gundam Extreme Versus that you can find. So let me go over this. So in full boost, some of the big changes that it got was CSA goes directly into sub as a cancel route, which is very good. Before, if you used to, this is going to go into CSA a little bit more, but again, CSA is the triple 1-2-3 shot. One of the properties of this move is all three shots track at the same interval. So it's not like Norn sub, which each bullet that comes out, it tracks separately. So if you step the first two, the third one will still be tracking after you. That's not how it works for F91 or for, say, Full Saber. If you step at any point, either the first part, second part, third part, all of the bullets are dead. So it's a lot easier to avoid, and it's one of the best ways to avoid that suit once we go to how to counterplay this suit. So that's very important. So we used to, in full boost, only shoot out CSA the first and the second shot, as most likely if the first two shots didn't hit, the third one wasn't going to hit either. So we had to move away and we had to boost dash, cancel it out, and shoot. So that was very boost inefficient. Now we can do CSA into sub, which gets the max damage confirmed, and it covers 2 landing options at the same time. This is a really big buff. And again, it's one of the changes I really like. Another buff that it had since full boost, and I think it's present in Gundam Versus as well, is its CSB, the shield toss. Again, that unit used to not be able to rainbow step its CSB. And so you just kind of be floating over there, just hanging out there. We had to boost dash cancel it. So, it makes you use boost a lot quicker more. But now you can rainbow step it. So you can cut guidance from moves that are coming at you already. And it also helped a lot. It really solidified its position as a anti-melee move. Before, I would tell you should not use this as a anti-melee move, even in full boost, as you still have to boost dash cancel, things such as that. But now you can do CSB on it, your wake up. You can see it in one of the videos, right? He was using he was doing CSB on his wake up against Quantum Melee, and he was able to full step backwards. This is huge, meaning he can cancel it immediately and go back to shooting him at the same time. So it's a very powerful wake-up option as melee defense. And so CSA, another interesting property, it's listed right there on F91, is it carries more momentum. It already carried a crap ton of momentum in full boost, and it's even more. So a big trick that a lot of F91 players I can recommend doing is when you're second impacting, just after you boost dash, you want to let go of the CSA, and it'll carry you even further. It'll kind of be like a second mini boost dash while shooting. So again, that's a really big thing, as you can cover a lot of distance while shooting at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And one of the viewers asked, C. Clark, He asked that can you use CSB as Oki or no?
Oh, unfortunately, no. So we went over about the size of it and the hit detection. It's very small. Now you could use a Norn or Gan sub or even Kamaris minefields as Oki very well. I do recommend that, especially if you can guess well or read their movement very quickly, well with that move. But this move, again, it's very small and it's very unreliable. Right, so say you're just like sitting right in front of their down body, and they just wake up and they start trying to melee you. Right, you could use CSB to toss them. Right, but if they were to step to the left or the right, or say they did like a different kind of melee variation on it, your CSB would definitely not cover that. I would tell you Gan sub or all the other landmine fields, they've got a huge area spread, right? So it could cover different angles of the melee wherever you think it's coming out. So, but unfortunately, CSB can't work. It can work if they go straight in front of you, which is kind of very obvious. So it can kind of work, but very unreliable and it's very risky. I don't recommend it because, again, you have low life. Any mistake can be fatal. But yeah, and then so another thing is actually wait, let's see. In Gundam Versus, again, you all know that it has 3 versions of its sub, and it doesn't need Meep to use any of them. So all Meep does during sub is increase the bullets performances in Gundam Versus. So again, in this game, we don't have the back sub, which is the sniper sub. He does a different type of animation, and he shoots the twin cannons instantly, and it becomes a sniper shot. He does not have that in this version. That is Gundam Versus and EX Versus 2 exclusive. Mm-hmm. And let's see. Oh, and also, again, you should know that the weapons have been flipped out since Gundam Versus. So AC is actually his Meep mode in Gundam Versus, correct?
Yes.
And then his BC is already the shot guard pole. Again, you can only do that in Maxion during Meep. So you can only use that as a Meep exclusive move. In Gundam Versus, you can use it as much as you want, and then people just step dive towards you, and it's like, ha 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 ha, no, die. That kind of thing. So you cannot do that in this version, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, no. And also know that in GVS, some people can actually bully with the sword vent or BC in GVS.
Right, no, again, I definitely would put them under the bully category with F91, just because of how it's played.
Yep. It's like it's a completely different suit, regardless of its more range-oriented kit in GVS as opposed to Maxiboost.
Alright, and so yeah. Other than that, what else? Oh, CSB into sub is also a count. So you got to see it in one of the videos, but he didn't have any ammo during that time. But this is also this also kind of solidifies its CSB as a wake up option on your wake up. So that's pretty good.
All right. So.
And again, like I listed right there, and it's right there. Sub startup and projectile speed has increased. This probably is one of the biggest buffs, but it's still a little bit slow. Again, it's still a little bit slow, but it's still really good. Again, and other than that, that would be it. So wait, and I'm sorry. Yeah. So again, I cut it in, but yeah, I think we could go to melees, right? We were going to talk about melees.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, in terms of melee, this suit hasn't really changed since all 3 of its iterations. So it had a few little additions onto its melees as a toolkit, but overall he's kept the same kind of melees in this game since full boost or since its vanilla time as well. No real additions or like changes throughout the history of EX Versus. A lot of the older suits either got completely reworked to kind of keep up with the standards of the newer versions of the game. A big example would be Tallgeese 3. Since vanilla and since full boost, its melees were kind of subpar compared to the later cast. And in Maxiboost On, they completely rehauled, changed that into some melee destroying machine. Again, I fear Toggy's 4B so much in EX versus 2 and Beyond because of how fast it is. It's just it gave me some trauma back in the day when I was training. So unfortunately, yeah, but F91 really hasn't changed, but it really didn't need a change. So going over that, we already know that it has in Gundam we have the five melee variations that everyone is familiar with, right? We have side melee, 4B, 6B. We have 8 melee holding forward. We have 2B, which is back melee. And then we have neutral melee, which is just holding down the neutral. And we have boost dash melee, right? So those are the 5 buttons. So F91's melee spread and tools and uniqueness about them, it's all really spread out very well. So 5B, which would be his bread and butter neutral string, it fulfills its role as usually for most neutral melees in this game. They're just kind of like your basic B&B combo enders or combo strings, which is usually a 3-string. F91 has the same string since vanilla, and it still does its job as the easiest way to end a combo. Its 8B is a quick knockdown move where you press 8B. It's 2 strings and they'll do a forced knockdown. It was added as a property in one of the games. I think it was Maxiboost. Mm-hmm. And so you can get some quick downs. It's also very good. It's pretty good at hit contact as well when it comes to priority. Its 2B is an uppercut. It's probably its least favorable move. So he does a little 2B uppercut with his beam saber. And what's really interesting about that move is that move has 2 variations in this game. One with Meep, one with your main, which is the A button, and it's I would say the A version is the anime follow-up because it just mimics a scene in the actual anime. And he has the Meep variation, and I believe he has another melee variation with that one as well. But hitting that move is very difficult. Mm-hmm. So I don't recommend using that move. It also has very bad hit contact as well. So you could get stuffed by other player melees really easily with that move. And then it has his 4B. Now this is probably the move that you would be using the most in this game. It is probably it's its most highest performing melee. It's if you're gonna press a button, you want to be pressing 4B, definitely, always. And the reason being is the travel distance, the priority of the move is also very quick, and it's also difficult. It's probably its most difficult move to cut as well, as you can actually change which direction he is swinging at from directionally. Not many people might know this, but if you do his 4B and then hold 4B and then you hold the 6B instead, he will swing towards the right as it's a triple slash going left, right, left. And so it's also very strong priority as well, and then it combos very easily from whatever other moves that you want to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And Tekka asks this question: did he get the cancel route change where he could cancel melee hits into sub and max boost on in GVS?
Oh, I think that was in Maxion as well. I believe so. I'm not too sure if that's Gundam versus exclusive. But I know he can do melee into sub in that game for sure. But I'm quite sure it's in Beyond as well. I could double check, but other than that, yeah. And then lastly, and this is its most unique move, and it is its boost dash melee. Its boost dash melee used to be a meme. So this move had a lot of funny history to the move as well. As in vanilla, it was a very bad move. It was kind of like a suicidal move. Before, for some reason, while it's doing the move, so the move, let me describe to you, is from the anime. It's called the Bug Slash. So in the anime, you see him using his two like whip sabers to cut up open all the bugs during the final battle. So this move is the exact same version of that one. It's just a mimicking of that move. And so this move is your anti-melee move. It's a very hard call-out melee move that beats out all the other moves because it is an active frame. It has active frames during the entire dash of it. And the attack judgment, the hitbox of that move is actually deceivingly large. It's a crazy big. So it may look small, but and you think like, oh, I could still melee this. You cannot melee that character. He's got if you've ever seen Naruto, he's got the byakugan, the spinning web thing. You do not want to melee that character while he's doing it. In one of the so like in one of the videos, you see him doing it to Quanta, the one he was fighting against Quanta, because he knew. So a trick with that would be you want to boost dash backwards to get your distance, and then during that boost dash iteration, you want to do the boost dash melee. And though if he presses any melee during that time, he's gonna get eaten up. Yes, I believe it's this one. It's a little bit at the 1 minute mark, but you can kind of see it. He's like, come here. You want to play? I'm gonna do boost dash melee on you. And not even a character like Quanta can beat his melee. You need to you have to interact with it with another similar type of move or just shoot it. Again, it's very powerful. Mm-hmm. And you can do this. So this is another thing. So this is also a really good move to do on Oki to call out melee attacks because it's constantly active. If they think, oh, what is this guy doing? I'm going to hit them with the melee. You can do boost dash melee right directly on their corpse. And if they press the melee button at any point, they get sucked in and then you get to combo it instantly. So a little trick there for people who want to be really stylish with your gameplay. So right here, see right there, he did that right there, and you just see the Quanta right there at the very last second. He respected it because he already knew, like, I'm not meleeing this right now.
Yeah,
so
I noticed that he noped out of there real quick. And usually you don't see that because Quanta, I like to call Quanta ham. I like to call Quanta hamta because Quanta tends to go ham. The fact that the Quanta player respected that says a lot.
Yeah, see right here, he's like, he's like, oh shoot. So right there, you can see it. If it's slow-mo, he double-stepped because he wasn't sure if that move was going to hit. He wanted to make sure, did I cut the guidance of this move? I better press step again. And he did not press a button. So again, he feared that move. And so this is again, you can kind of slow it down right there during that clip. During Meat Mode, again, this is the time F91 shines the most. Again, you're invisible, you've got big damage moves, you got a sub that's really damaging, and you have the two sub variations that are buffed. And pretty much you can't be stopped unless you have a special weapon to like intercept them with. You just kind of have to run and you have to respect him, which is also really good because another thing that teaches this what's really good about this character is teaching you how to push when you have the advantage. So a lot of beginners and even a lot of mid-level players have this trouble in this game when to push the advantage when you have it. How do I recognize it? F91 puts you in that situation always, and knowing how to attack the enemy in their vulnerable places.
All right.
Right, so again, another reason why I really love F91 as a beginner suit, because you'll learn, this suit will teach you, because again, you just BC, you go right underneath him, now you're boost positive. Now you're going to have to chase this guy again and try and take his landing after you've put him in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me see.
But yeah, just for all the melees, again, that would be it. It's 2B variations. It's its main, and it's in Meat Mode. He does like a double Shoryu Reppa, but in the Meat Mode, he does a third version, which extends the damage a bit. But it's not a lot. And again, 2B is kind of ass, so I don't recommend doing it. The A is just an anime follow-up where he shoots 2 BRs instead. And yeah, again, I recommend the 2 for everyone who's using F91. Just stick to your 4B or it's 4B, 6B, left and right melee. It's very fast, very strong, curves towards the left so you can avoid bullets. And you can boost dash melee. Again, you can boost dash melee. Just it's a little bit difficult to use sometimes, but it's an anti-melee. You can be using it as cheeky oki as well, and it can beat out certain melee suits very easily. I think the only melee suit that could beat that suit would probably be Master or Full Armor Unicorn. Everyone else just kind of just eats it, as they have very special property melees. But I'd have to test it further to refresh my memory. But again, it's really, really strong.
Hang on a second. Someone said that they want Excellent Browning killed off. If somebody wants to have Excellent killed off, let me know who this person is so that I can kill them first.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. But no. I had a question for you, actually, Ace. So I'm curious.
Mhm.
Given how dangerous, because from everything that I've gathered here, F91 is clearly most dangerous when it has Meep of it up and running. So, what would you say would be your preferred fronts for the suit?
Any 3K. Any 3K.
Any?
Any 3K. Again, generally I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it for playing with very turtly back 3Ks. So people that have a lot of time to that need a lot of time to start up. So what we class those characters would be timer suits. So timer suits would be Kushi, Hainu, Legolas, the new Extreme Leos Type 2, because they need time to start up their gameplay before they become a real threat. And so pretty much you're just kind of like running around sometimes. And then you have the dedicated 3K backs who play back better than they play front, like Zabania and stuff like that. That would be probably the biggest mismatch with F91, because then it can put a lot more extra pressure on him that might be too much. And if you get double locked with that suit without Meep available, it can be quite difficult, because again you lose the damage race with that suit always, because again you are a 2K with 520 health, and so you can't trade damage with that suit. Again, you die first and you take the cost bars much quicker than normal suits do.
Mm-hmm.
So again, but regardless, he's very flexible in terms of partnering. Again, any like general neutral type of suits that don't really they just have a strong neutral, I would say like New or like Nightingale or anything, they're not waiting on anything. They're just playing their game, and then they are doing whatever they want. Melee suit as well, you just move up forward with them. So yeah, he's very flexible. He doesn't really need someone to shine like a sniper does. It's like, oh, I kind of wish you were like a melee suit or someone that can go in really, really hard, so that I don't get target locked. So that kind of thing. But yeah, he's very flexible in terms of 2K partners.
All right. Let me think.
Again, what's most restrictive about that suit, again, is keeping safe and not going balls to the walls with like melee trades or damage races. These are situations you want to do with like melee suits, like Red Frame. You put them in that chaotic situation, you start smashing on people, and your team goes out with like 250, 260 damage, and the other guy gets like a BR string, and you keep on like trading damage. Then eventually you win out, right? F91 cannot do that because he has no HP. It is detrimental to his health.
And I guess for like a player question, what would you say would be like your response to those that really use BC like absolutely offensively?
Offensively, I'd say keep keep doing it. Again, just pick your places. Again, this suit teaches you, like I was saying, this suit teaches you how to push in when in the right situation. It forces you into that stuff because it creates that situation for you because you're invisible, right? So you just go underneath them and then you just BC. They're thinking, oh, I can take this landing. Oh no, now I've got to run, or now he's gonna push on me, right? So now you have to guide them into that landing punish. You're looking for that landing punish or catching them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I'm not too sure if you've seen the wiki, but again, you look at the cost consideration. I say any 3K because over there they'll list any 3K too. They're like, oh yeah, it works with melees, it works with neutral suits, it works with this suit, this suit, this suit, this suit, this suit, and it's like, wow, that's a lot of suits, right?
Yep.
So again, very flexible, very very standard. Again, I could run this suit with almost anyone again. Again, I just probably wouldn't want to be with Zabanya, because if Zabanya gets double lock too and your 3K partner isn't that good, you guys are gonna have a really hard time to catch up in the damage race.
All right, so now, what would be the burst you're looking to use with the suit?
So this suit's a tiny bit unique. So it actually has a very strong usage of all three. Actually, each burst has something for it that benefits it, but I would say the number one would be E-Burst. So the E-Burst, normally this is a little bit unique because a lot of 2Ks do not run E-Burst in this game. So a meta discussion right here is 2Ks generally use offensive bursts because they can get 2 bursts playing back almost indefinitely in that game. And so it's a really big benefit for you in Maxiboost on to push on your offensive as a 2K. So we have like suits like Barbatos and stuff like that. We love taking S-Burst on that suit because its main is just so powerful in that game. Or you have F-Burst with it. You see a lot of suits in this game using offensive burst for 2Ks overall. And again, that's because of the 2 burst logic. You don't need to really... 2Ks really need that little extra push to make them really, really threatening to get some guaranteed damage in. But F91, he does well with all of them. Again, in Maxiboost, he used to be an F-Burst character, not S-Burst. He was infamous just because of his F-Burst and his BC Meep mode, which deleted the enemy team instantly. But now, S-Burst is not a bad choice, F-Burst is not a bad choice, and E-Burst is not a bad choice. Again, I would say it's very flexible, but I would be weighing over E-Burst as the number one choice in the higher level play. The reason being it mitigates a lot of the risks of F91, as you know that it has low health, right? E-Burst helps manages that HP factor while still keeping its relative potentiality as a 2K, right? Because you're just looking to abuse meat to get in that nice guaranteed damage or pushing in. And so just in case you're in like trouble right there, right? You can just E-Burst like, whoa, and you just jump out of there. And though he doesn't really have a lot of flip potential, like he doesn't have a real big, it doesn't really put him in a really advantaged position when he flips, while other characters will have infamously easy, really strong Boompa E-Burst moments. F91 does not actually. It's only there to keep his HP healthy. But yeah, overall, I would say E-Burst, then F-Burst, and then S-Burst. S-Burst would be my least favorite choice on that suit. It's very easy to use, but he doesn't really have anything like amazing to push with. Because again, normally you want to be combining your burst with your Meep mode, and so F-Burst with Meep on with the BC is again extremely, extremely powerful. You can do a lot of damage and you're invisible at the same time. So you can flip the situation over on a lot of opponents that way. And again, E-Burst just helps manages your HP. I think you noticed during the videos, you saw COJ, right? The second video that I sent you.
Yeah.
That's a very famous Kashi player in Japan. Very infamous for his Kashi play. But he runs E-Burst, including the other guy running E-Burst, because again, they don't really need that extra firepower because they're already they're big veterans on how to push for damage alone with F91. As you saw in the videos, they didn't have any problems securing damage with just Meep alone because it's just so powerful. And so they're just using E-Burst to make sure that they manage their HP. So yeah, so again, on a rating scale, I would say E-Burst, then F-Burst, then S-Burst.
I'm curious, why would you recommend Shooting Burst last? Because I feel like looking at all the videos I've seen, the match videos I've seen, even though his melees are really strong and everything, I feel like wouldn't it be better to abuse his sub and all of the shooting options?
Okay. Oh, sorry, I was drinking. Sorry, but that's why I said he's kind of in a unique position. It's not bad, but I would say the argument here would be it's not the best. Again, it's not the best for it. Again, S can put you in a very good no risk, very low risk guaranteed damage situation. So if that's kind of like your take on it, if that's something that you prefer better, then Meep with S-Burst with just main, it's the exact same thing as Wing TV. Again, it's very powerful, very impressive, and it can land you some really good damage. But in those situations, especially if you're, I would say I put F-Burst over S because of the comeback potential. The comeback potential is just so crazy, right? If you need something for a win condition, F-Burst just can create some miracle positions where S-Burst just kind of cannot do that, if that kind of makes sense.
I got you. Okay.
Because again, if you get tagged in F-Burst with Meep on, it's around 320 damage within the span of 2 seconds. And so imagine, right? Like you're falling from behind in a situation. This is very common here, that 3K versus 2K, 3K versus 2K. You kill the 3K once. You killed the 3K once, but you haven't touched the back partner, right? He's like untouchable and stuff. And so you're like, we have to get that overcost, dude. We have to get that double 3K down. And at double F-Burst F91 can delete that character instantly. While S-Burst, you can still avoid S-Burst. I mean, it's not... F91's... What do you call it? It's lasers or anything. It's BRs and range projectiles. It's not the best, but it's really just kind of like plain, I would say. He doesn't really have anything like super amazing something overly amazing or powerful to take those landings. So once the game's released, you might kind of see it there, but it takes a lot of time to put people in that position to get hit by that the Esper's Folly.
All right, that makes sense. I can understand.
Yeah, like if you compare that suit's Espers with like Calamity Espers, oh man, just see Calamity shooting main, and it just aiming, hitting people mid-air for no reason. I go, wow, that's kind of crazy. I wish he had a normal BR so I can just easily kite this.
Wait,
So it's pretty amusing, but yeah. But not just going over again. I put him in that unique spot that he can do well with all 3 bursts, and that's very rare. Where I would just tell you, for Barbatos doesn't need extra damage. He already can hit like the 280 damage cap. You don't need F burst. Yeah, S-Burst, his main assist main fall is crazy. His Barbatos main in this game is really, really strong. So you put 100% pick rate on S-Burst, right? So I'd be like, don't even look at the other 2 bursts. or for Sniper, or for Blue Destiny, I'd just be like, oh, that's E burst, that's F burst. F91 is in that unique position where he can rock all 3 bursts, and it would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So it's jack of all trades, pretty much.
Yep. And that's a very unique function in that game, because in this game, it's been kind of black and whited for a lot of suits, right? Especially with meta like 2.5Ks. If you're playing back as them, you always want to get E burst, as it's the most stable and it's the most health wise, because they have the least amount of life with the cost overs and stuff like that. And yeah, or some suits would be like, they're all melee suits, right? So you have to use F burst. You're not going to use S burst on a melee suit. So again, F91 is a really unique position. He does well. He can rock all 3 bursts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's good. Okay, so next thing I was going to ask, because we're kind of at the point to wrap this up, would be, do you have any advice? This is more of a general question, but do you have any advice for beginners?
For beginners, I do recommend the biggest thing you should recommend is learning how to use the CSA, its second impact.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Try to cut you off. This is more in general, not necessarily tied to F91, but this is more of a general question. What would be your advice to beginners?
Oh, for beginner advice. For beginners, I think the biggest thing for beginners is to learn proper movement, boost topping. I'm not too sure if how hard people focus on that, but proper movement and understanding movement is more important than anything in this game, rather than your offensive, or learning how to mash sidestep or anything like that, or mashing like melees and stuff like that. You want to learn movement for all beginners. You want to know how to boost top, full step, things such as that, and how to avoid attacks, because the game really doesn't shape up the way you want it to be. The games get very ugly if you don't have this knowledge and you haven't practiced this, because again, I'm sure like you've seen it in day one Gundam versus lobbies as well. You see people mashing sidestep up and down, and are kind of like, they look really lost, right? Yep. And the games get kind of really bleak. Again, I recommend for beginners to practice up your movement and to just focus on that. Learn to boost top, things such as that, and having a general sense of danger when something might hit you, and understanding that. I think to get that game sense first would be the number one important thing for beginners.
And then the last one, quick, hold on. Aizu, better for beginners and in general for the health of the game, in my opinion, is shuffle, not teams. I'll explain that real quick before we get to the other question I had for Ace. It's better to play in shuffle because, let me give you an example. I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. Let's say me and Ace are playing. We've played with each other for quite amount of time, and we know each other's habits. We're good teammates. We work well together. If we join a lobby full of, let's just say as an example, beginners, or just randoms for that matter, we're going to stomp. And that's not really fun for other players. When you play shuffle, that keeps it fresh, because you're going to basically be experiencing different players, different play style. So it's better, period, overall, to play shuffle. Now, if you're going to be playing like super duper hardcore serious and everybody's running around in teams and everybody has their set partners, sure. But otherwise, I think shuffle, or if you're basically running like how MightFO likes to do when he runs his lobbies, where you'll have a bunch of different players playing and everybody's rotating every so often, then that's fine. But otherwise, even if it's not quote unquote optimal, you're going to be learning a lot more by playing in shuffle. And not only that, but you'll also be preventing yourself, I think, from being too frustrated, because you're always going to have different teammates. It's also a little bit of fun. Like if you're playing a 3K and then somebody else has a 3K, it's kind of fun. It's a breath of fresh air to kind of be panicking and playing double 3K where it's like, oh my God, we only have one life and maybe you'll learn something new that way. You'll learn how to, play your suit more defensive. That can create different learning experiences that you're not gonna experience normally by playing in a set comp. It's not fun. It's not fun going into a room where you're just getting stomped. So by getting different people to look at and playing with different teammates, that's going to make you a better player because it's going to teach you to adapt on how to play with other people. And I mean, sure, it's great when you find a dedicated partner, but again, having one team just stomping everybody, yeah, sure, they'll have fun, but nobody else is going to have fun. And honestly, I don't think anybody here who takes this game seriously wants people to not have fun with this game. So, personally, overall, even be a beginner or whoever, I think Shuffle is superior. And that's not just my own thought. Sunhawk, SSO Sunhawk, who's one of the best players in North America, he said that himself. That's coming from him. So that has a lot more weight than, some scrub like me saying that.
So, adding on to that, I don't agree on the superior end, but I do think Shuffle has when it comes to what was better for beginner. Again, definitely beginners would be Shuffle would be better than teams. But overall, I would want to add on to what Denso said would be it's important to have those different experiences so that you're not babied into one set comp, because what comp really looks like is we pick the 3K, we're gonna pick our intended 3K, and then we have a back player, right? And then it's always gonna end up in that format because that's gonna be the top meta or the top pick for the number one position, stuff like that. And so you're gonna get used to that very quickly. But for Shuffle, it's very important to know all these experiences so you know how to play around them. And so again, learning these experiences, learning how to front with a 2K, that will affect your growth as a player overall in the big end strife regardless. Like, I'll pick a 2K and I have a 1K partner and I'm playing a 2K, then what does that mean, right? That means I have to front, right? So now I'm going to have to learn how to front with a 2K, right? So it's going to be a new experience, something that I'm going to have to learn, because guess what? Once your 3K starts to lose life, even in team comps or anything, you're going to have to start fronting too, right?
Or get overcosted.
Yeah, overcosted or anything, you're going to have to learn how to play front too. And Shuffle really is a really good way to experience that with everything. As team hold, depending on what type of team hold setting it is, I would tell you team hold normally is actually the worst, right? So if you join my lobby and it was just a team hold, we're playing for keeps and stuff like that, and I'll get my friends or whatever, people that I know, then you are going to get stomped, right? Like, there's going to be no hold bars. But again, team hold's not a bad way to learn, right? Because again, if you're with Denso or me and I'm here to teach you how to play the game, and I'm sorry, again, if we're together in a team nowadays, again, team hold could be better than team hold can be better than Shuffle in some cases, right? Because you can work it through with your partners as long as you know the other guy, right? So again, give and take, both can help you, but Shuffle, if you're solo right now, I definitely do recommend Shuffle. It'll learn to teach you many experiences. And again, what's also important that I want to stress out is properly knowing the most, what's the word, optimal or fundamental way of playing, so that everyone's on the same page and you can work with any partner. Because in Gundam, everyone kind of leans onto a certain standard or format so that everyone's on the same page. It's kind of like the human, right? So like, if Aeon and I were on the same team on a Shuffle game, and then I'm playing he's playing a melee suit, I'm playing a shooting suit, then the general experience is, the 2K most likely is going to go up front and I'll be supporting him, because he's gonna he'll probably have some tools to like avoid people and things such as that. And so that kind of only comes with experience, or kind of like understanding, and kind of like as your experience builds up in the game, you'll be pushing forward from those types of experiences, and you're just going to be flexing around with that. So yeah, again, just getting to that place, and it's a lot. It's a lot to talk about. I don't think we have that much. I have enough time to like completely go over that, but yeah, Shuffle is really good, and just make sure to be focusing and I would say reviewing those gameplays so that you don't get stuck in this vortex, because people in Shuffle can easily fall into what I call the shuffle mentality, where it's kind of like, oh, I can't trust my partner here. I know he's going to die right here, so I've got to push up and I've got to do this. And those plays can be fatal for you in the long run, because once you start to move up and you're like, all right, I want to take up the big lobbies, or I'm going to take up the big players, and then you're going to be just as in big trouble once you start falling into that habits. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Yeah. So the other question I was going to throw at you was, for beginners, what do you think is what do you think is a pitfall that you'd like them to avoid?
Ally trusting. This is something I want to get through with everyone, and it's going to be on later guides, on my Discords and stuff like that. But this is the biggest default. Well, I was talking about the defaults, right? The number one default I want every player to understand in this game is please trust your allies. Even in Shuffle, please give them always the benefit of the doubt. If things don't work out, do not give up on your allies. This causes you to fall into the Shuffle mentality, or the big slump, the big, oh no, I can't, I'm gonna have to do everything, and then your experience with the game itself will drop dramatically, because you're gonna start piling on losses, and then you're also going to be either blaming your partner and things like that. Please, I want to focus for everyone to have a healthy mindset and be a more forgiving mindset. I believe beginners are more forgiving than others, but again, don't get into that, fall into that hole where it's like, oh, this guy can't he can't do anything, man. I just gotta do this regardless, because all the new players are going to be everyone's going to be starting at the beginner section. So both veterans and new players need to be understanding to kind of like get their feet through the door. And so even for me, it's important, as these are standards I learned from friends in Japan, other friends as well, is that even in Shuffle, even if you're fighting and you're losing, or your partner's not doing good this game, don't get mad. Don't let it put you in that mentality where I can't trust someone, because eventually it's going to make you perform a mistake in game. You're going to cut that game-winning combo because you didn't believe he was going to hit that combo or anything like that, and then you're going to lose for it. And then it's going to be your fault, and you're going to beat yourself up. Yeah, it's a team game at the end of the day, and this is an important mentality you need to work with. Even if you're doing team hold with a complete stranger, believe in each other, and give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Don't throw them away and just be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Not with you. Again, keep at it and try and work with it. It's cooperation. And then if you do that, your experience becomes better, and the gameplay will start to shape up better when you play around each other and not in the way of each other. So please, let's do that.
Yep, and another thing I also want to add on that too is some players only kind of expect to win, but whenever they lose like a couple of matches, they start like avoiding the player after a while. Don't develop that habit too.
You're breaking up, Blue.
I'm breaking up?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little static.
Okay, I'll just up to output. But the fact that some players kind of either avoid after losing like a few matches after partnering up with them, that's not a good mindset to have, really, because if you're only in it to win, you're not going to enjoy the game as much compared to like some of the veterans or higher level players that have been in it for the long haul. because most of those high level players played with everybody, even under like very questionable circumstances. They still give them like a few games, and then if their friend jumps in, they hop with their friends. But ultimately, you can't expect to be victorious all the time. You can't expect the person that you team up with to always have your back. But at the same time, you always got to build up that trust, see how they perform, see how they improve over time, and ultimately just give yourself and your partner, if you play a lot more consistently, the benefit of the doubt that they can perform even up against like some high level players too. Always gotta have a little bit of faith in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's true. You have to trust your teammates.
Even though
the
it
other thing
doesn't
too.
show, it's just something. It's the right thing to do, honestly. Because again, I was saying it right there, right? Eventually it's gonna reflect in your play. So an example would be I play with I give up on my partner thinking he's not going again, or I gave an example right that, but it happens all the time when I play too much with like some new beginner players and stuff like that, and sometimes or I'd be like, I better go save the day. I'm gonna start shooting preemptively, and then say I was playing with my like partner with like one of the vets, and it's like, why the hell you cut my combo, or why'd you shoot me in the back? I got hit because of you. It's gonna end up like that, and it's gonna be your fault in that
All right,
sense.
hang on a second. Clark, to answer that, I'm gonna just cut that off right now. You said hopefully with M-Bond things will change. No, they won't. A game is not going to change that. In order to change that kind of mentality where people get negative, where people get salty about other players, that's up to the player. That's up to you. It's okay. This is speaking from
Yeah.
experience. This is speaking from experience. Okay, I get
Right.
frustrated. I get frustrated a bunch when I get on my little losing streaks and whatnot, and stuff like that. Okay, it's led me to spats with other players. It's not going to
Right.
change unless you look at it internally yourself. And also, if you are in a lobby or something where you're playing with players, like let's say, for example, you're in the Discord channel and then you have players going on. If something happens, like if, for example, if you made a mistake or something, or you need to correct something, like, hey, just say so. Okay. Now, if a player is a little frustrated, don't poke them. Don't poke them with that. You know, that's one of those things where you have to have a little bit of sense. Some players, they get a little hot-headed, myself included, when they start losing a little bit. Now, that's not saying, hey, avoid them. But if the person is, you know, a little flustered, instead of being critical of them, that's when you want to be a little more encouraging. Because the thing is, a lot of times when you're playing this game, a lot of times, let's say, for example, you're on a losing streak. Sometimes it's not even that you're getting spanked. It's that you're losing a lot of close games. And those are, when you lose close games like that, that gets stressful. So when that happens, try to basically, if you know the player is getting frustrated or something, then that's when you want to say, hey, you did you did good here. We almost had it. Let's keep going. Or another example would be, hey, don't worry about it. We're doing fine. Let's keep at it. So that's what you have to be. You have to be encouraging. Hold on. I mean, in the sense that I will actually get a teammate, and you're gonna find teammates eventually. Don't even worry about that. If anything, join a Discord channel. You'll find someone. And if not, that's what Shuffle is for. And that's another reason to play Shuffle. If you play Shuffle, and let's say, for example, you keep playing with a certain player and things are going good, maybe send them a firmware request or something. See if it works out.
Nope. And also, again, I agree with the it's hard to completely erase that. And again, I hope the listeners here can try and follow it the best you can. But again, there's always going to be people who are salty, or they're just playing for themselves. And Maxion is going to have a lot of players like that. It's almost impossible to do that. But as a community, if you really want to be improving in this community, we want to definitely, it's important to try and make that the standard. by showing the same type of examples, interacting with the community as well. In EE again, I've been pushing for that a lot, and we're gonna be pushing a lot of we're gonna try and be pushing some online random online standards with say regarding Wi-Fi or player habits or or not player habits and negative player behavior, things such as that, and properly trying to make sure that we don't put some of the beginners inside the with the sharks, I would say, so that they don't get eaten up before that. But again, we're trying that here in my Discord as well with the EE and as a community. I hope people will follow those guidelines once the game is out. And again, I hope every other community, either East Coast, West Coast, Canada Coast, Mid Coast, everyone, I hope everyone really tries to introduce that standard. And if they don't, well, I guess, can't help it. Try and ignore it and, move on.
I just remembered something. Yo, when this game first comes out officially, we need to check the settings, because I just remembered about something that almost happened before. I don't know if Blue knows about this.
Oh,
but,
I think I know I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a patch that came out for Gundam Versus, and for some insane reason, Bamco had the smooth brain idea. I'm talking, this is -1 billion IQ smooth brain level stuff. They turned off comm. So that was the worst idea anybody I've ever seen. We were playing, and one of our guys was getting a bit frustrated, thinking that his partner was getting angry and not responding. So it was mentioned, when that happened, me and the person I was playing with, I think it was actually Blue, we started mentioning, hey, are you seeing my comms? And then somebody goes and says, no. And then next thing you know, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, let me test this. Because how was they, I'm sending you my comms, and the other person wasn't saying anything because we were winning. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. We were matched. I check my comms, and my partner's like, yo, I'm not seeing your comms. And I'm like, yo, wait a minute. And then next thing you know, the player in question, who had not joined the voice chat, jumps in and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. He mentioned something. And I'm like, yo, check your comm, check your settings real quick. We all checked their settings. And that prevented an argument from breaking out when people were getting a little frustrated because, again, losing streaks happen. And
right,
we checked it, and freaking comms were set to off
by
so
default.
I'm like, yo,
default.
Oh my god, no.
Yep,
so yeah, when the game first drops, we need to check that. And also, Evan, I'm gonna say this right now. I am happy that custom messages are off, because I had an experience. One of my first sessions playing full boost, because I started in full boost. I don't remember who this person was, so I'm not here to talk trash about anybody. But this person, I was a beginner, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. And this person was basically spamming me, saying that I was a bad player. And at the same time, I am also guilty of that myself. I'm gonna throw myself under the bus there. I had that before, where I had a message that could be interpreted as me being negative. It doesn't help. Okay, it doesn't help. So I'm glad that they turned off custom messages. On the same time, though, I hope that they add messages that you can change, and where you can put, "Hey, my special mode is ready" or something.
There are.
Hold on a second, Evan. Buff my nuts. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ace. Yes, go ahead. There was a huge list of messages in the beta. Okay, that's good to know, Token.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. So from what I understand, custom messages are not in the game. Gundam Versus turned off that, what you were referring to before, because of toxicity. Below, even in Japan, is some of the default comments were used to be spammed, and it was used very condescendingly. in that game, kind of like it's all thanks to you, right? you start mashing that what do you call it to
Which
your
one was it?
partner. It's the translation was it's all thanks to you.
Oh no!
And then it would be again. It became kind of like the format to spam at people who are like bleeding out health really badly, and for like beginners and stuff like that. And so people would do that. And again, it's a problem in Japan, and it's a problem in America as well. So again, the patch was kind of justified, but not justified enough to remove one of the most important parts of that game and part of the standards in that game. So hopefully we don't do that. But when it comes to messaging, I know there's no custom messages right now, but there are custom inputs like I have burst or going to burst, things such as that. They are added. So they kind of filter that out the best they can. I'm sure there'll still be condescending messages because,
Egos.
you can make anything condescending as long as you spam it enough to people, saying, like, you're the best every time, you start losing.
Like GBO2.
We're playing GBO2 now.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like, you're the best, dude. And people are like...
Are you asking for it? Oh God. Terrible damage.
That's the language for you.
Ah, man.
Yep.
All right, so I think we're good to go here then. We've pretty much covered all the topics, and I think it's good that every single time I've noticed that we start talking about stuff for beginners, that this is both for this one and our cherry popping one with HFX was pretty good. So I think this is good. I think this is good that we're always turning this into a pretty big discussion. It's good that we have that both you and Nitz had a lot to say when we get to the topic of beginner. So this is good. I'm hoping that we keep this momentum so that we can encourage new players to not just give the game a go, but also stick around.
Okay. Well, I was hoping I was helpful. I was kind of gabba gabba, which is like kind of like left and right with things. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about this and I forgot about that. Just kind of like speaking casually.
No, this is good. This is good. Look, we're not trying to have this be too uptight and too super strict. I think it's good when we play it loose and do it live because we keep it like I think it keeps it more organic and more what's the term I'm looking for? More authentic. I think it's perfectly fine. I don't think we need to be all super duper high quality, esports kind of crap. It's like, look, let's just have fun with the game. Let's build hype for the game, and let's have people stick around.
Yep, and even after the game releases, we're still going with it too. We're just gonna be like upping the amount of suits we're gonna be covering in the future. So I guess the next suit that we're gonna be doing is gonna be a 1.5K. Since we're kind of doing a bit of a cycle. So it's going to be 1.5, then I think we might bounce back to 2K, then 2.5, then 3K.
All right. So I think that'll about wrap it up. So thanks for dropping by, Ace. Blue, if you don't mind, go ahead and help them out with the spreading of the social media and all that good stuff and all the plugs.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and hop off, fellas. Thank you for dropping by. And like I said before, be good to each other. And let's continue to build the game. Thanks for dropping by again, Ace. Appreciate that.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Again, support the community. Support everything. If I can just plug this in. Again, please... try and support EE. We are trying as a community to make this as the central. I know everyone has their discourse that everyone likes to refer to with their friends and everything, but I do hope that people can try and if you're looking to join up or find a broad, what's the word?
A broad community.
Yeah.
Like a broad connection to like everybody else in and out of the Discord communities, sort of like sort of like a unity of sorts. Yeah,
so I'm just hoping. But anyway, yeah. But anyways, GG's everyone.
Oh wait, just one more thing before you go. Actually, you mentioned EE, but I don't think most of the viewers are aware of what EE stands for. So
Extreme Evolution is our Discord name.
And can you provide like a bit of an invite link for anybody that might be curious?
Oh yes, sure, definitely. Should I just plug that inside the chat?
Yeah, you can.
Sure. Give me one.
And I'll probably signal boost it after the episode is done. I'm probably gonna finish the stream at this point.
Whoopsies. Whoopsies. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, take your time. And then after that, you can probably go over like the best way to reach you, either via Twitter or any other social media, or if you have like a YouTube page, anything like that.
Or our YouTube page and everything is still under construction, but yeah. So, but anyway, I do think the Discord is probably the biggest thing. Again, a lot of our veteran players and both new players again are all welcome again, and it's less personalized, more strict. So if people are okay with that kind of setting, again, please do join. We're gonna be having tournaments. We're hosting that Gundam Versus tournament, our send off from Evo, very soon. So again, please, hopefully you guys join. And again, maybe I'll see you another time. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
All right. No Twitter handle or anything like that?
Twitter? Oh, yes, there's a Twitter right here. I'm sorry. God.
That's all good, man. I'm pretty sure it's been a long day, so...
Yeah, 1 second. My bad.
And I guess if you have any recommendations of what suits you want us to cover, like a 1.5 they want us to cover for probably the next episode, you could probably do that.
Okay, there it is. And let's see. For recommendations, I mean, have you thought of a voting poll? I mean, there's just so many great things about that game. I do one thing I would have to say would be characters that are unique to and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So people who've already kind of got the gist of it over at Gundam Versus or maybe Full Boost as well. I think it'd be probably nice to other than that, I think you should definitely focus on suits that are unique to and beyond.
Okay, so like the newcomers and whatnot.
Right. Again, Full Saber, or I guess that's because again, I know a lot of people haven't really really even experienced it, right? I'm sorry, actually, yeah, let me retract that, because maybe that's not the best, because again, I'm coming off with the knowledge because I've already played that much, right? I've already played I've played almost like a crap ton of and beyond, like more than most people would be happy to kind of like admit because of how much money it costed me. But yeah, I definitely think maybe just a voting would be probably the best, right? Everyone's like, who? Because I saw some people in the chat saying Kemper.
Or Easy 8.
Yeah, Easy 8 as well. Again, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I guess I could probably separate each poll so that it's organized by cost. So whichever has the highest vote, we could go for, and then we could work our way from there.
Yeah, but I definitely think everyone can take off more. What is it? You guys can take off more once the game is out, so that people can put their own inputs, but a lot more players can just go over it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'd be it.
Alrighty. And you got any parting words for everybody in here, or?
Wait, could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
You got any parting words for everybody in the chat, or anybody watching?
Let's see. Parting. Everyone, let's have a lot of fun. Please support Gundam Maxiboost on. For reals. Again, this is. I'm not too sure if people know this, but I've always been shouting it out. But this game is extremely this is like one of the most amazing games. You guys need to get on this game if you haven't yet. Introduce it to friends. This game is the Kamige. This is what you call the best game. One of the best versions of the game. Better than could be you could even argue it's much better than the newer generation game EX versus 2 in terms of balance. Definitely not content, but again, this game is amazing. So please try it out and enjoy it.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Acid. Hope you have a wonderful night, and probably see you next time. Probably for Hot Scramble in the future.
No problem. Thank you.
No problem, man. Peace.
Bye.
All right. I guess that is all for tonight, everybody. Oh, shit. Let's run that back again. Yep, so that's it for F91, everybody. Hope y'all have a wonderful time. Probably gonna see you maybe on Thursday night or something. I don't know why I might be streaming tomorrow, but I might actually give War Thunder a try after all. I've been kind of holding off on that, so my apologies on that regard there, but everything else, what I have planned for maybe the weekend, I'm gonna continue some Shin Sakura Wars. It's once a week. For now it is. I'm probably gonna work things out with Denso to see if we could probably expand things a little bit further. Just kind of work around his work schedule too, so you can probably keep an eye on us to see if anything updates in the meantime. You could probably see it through either Twitter, or if you're in my Discord, I could probably let you guys know in the Hangar. So that's the main thing that we can work on in the future. But until then, catch you guys next time, and prepare to sortie. Peace. Now, who to raid, though? I guess that's the question there. Who's gonna be the lucky one to raid? Just give me a moment. It seems like we got let's give one Hangar some support to another. Alright? Say hello to Gustav for me. Gustav underscore 13. Yay!